Nice job. Big old whitey. That is a giant. Oh, nice laker. There you go. Look at that. Hey, morning everybody. I'll tell you one thing I hate in my boat is I hate night crawler dirt in there. And I hate my fingers being all dirty all the time too. So one of the things I do is I buy night crawlers in a flat because obviously it's a lot cheaper. In a flat of night crawlers, you get 500 night crawlers. And typically the price can go from anywhere from $45 to $90 a flat. But this is what I do is I put them in a strainer here real quick. This is my container for crawlers. It's a great container. I freeze it all the way around. There's water on the side here. And then I put the crawlers in the center. And I always put some paper towel down there. So the first thing what I do is I turn the hose, is I just kind of give them a quick rinse right here. I dump them into my bucket here. Now look at all that dirt in there. So just strain that off of there. So I'll start rinsing them crawlers. So basically what I do is I just start grabbing them out of here and rinsing them as I'm grabbing them and putting them in the paper towel. Simple. There you go, clean crawlers. It's a good way to keep your boat clean, keeps the crawlers healthy, and you catch more fish. Hey everybody, welcome back with our good friend Pete Hupf. Hey Pete, you love this lake about as much as I do. One thing I love about this lake, it's a multi-species, and we're gonna try to get as many species today as we possibly can.
Yep. We're gonna go for walleyes this morning, and big bluegills and smallmouth. Anything you can think of is really in this lake.
Muskies.
Muskies,
Yes.
pike,
I mean,
everything. Yeah.
It is a great body of water. One thing I love because it is nice and close to my house, and it's one of them kind of bodies of water you definitely want to get out here early, especially this time of year, because it is a big recreational body of water. It's absolutely beautiful. Hang on to your heinies. Get the nut for you. What, walleye or whitefish?
He's shaking. Like a walleye? Yeah, nice walleye. Or pike. Pike or a muskie.
Nice job. First species of the day right there. Gotta love that. Hey, that's a good pike right there. It's amazing how what won't hit a jig in a crawler, right? Every species there is will hit a jig in a crawler. I finally got one where I can see them right here, right? Big old whitey, another species. That's what it's all about. Put the old gold hammered shiver spoon on. You know, that's the cool part too. I was saying earlier about this body of water. Our whole goal today is to see how many different species of fish we can catch out here. So far, Pete and I are tied. He's got the pike. I lost two, and I'm gonna say they're walleyes because of course, you never lose a white bass. To me, you know, you guys have talked about this bait over and over. It's definitely my confidence bait, no matter where I go. It's easy to work, and everything loves that hammered gold. You're proud of me, aren't you? Thank you. Oh, I love you. I did it. She's like, Pete was kicking your butt, Dad. No, I'm happy. Well, we gotta keep her going. I can't relax with Pete in the boat. There's a walleye right there. I seen that one come right on it. Let's see if I can get this one in the boat. Big old whitey. That's what I wanted, 2 white bass. Annie, I took the lead from Mr. Hupf. Oh, look out, Annie. I can't even wheel this one in the boat. That's the cool part about this lake. Look at the size of these. Oh, even broke my line.
Like a 3.5 pounder.
Yeah, look at the size of these white bass. They are absolutely magnums, you know. And I'll tell you, a lot of people say white bass this time of year aren't good to eat, but I'll tell you, anything out of this body of water is absolutely awesome. Look at that white bass. That is a giant. I saw that one racing right up to it and just absolutely smoked that shiver spoon. Hey, I take the lead. I got 2 fish in the boat and I missed 2. And I'll guarantee you the 2 I missed were walleyes. Big, big, big walleyes. That's my story, I'm sticking to it. Today's setup, I'm using a 7-foot medium Mod Fast Megs custom rod. And you know, of course, I always pretty much use 10-pound test super braid. It's quite a few different types of lines I like when it comes to super braid. And again, using about a 15-pound fluorocarbon leader. I've got a little bit longer lead today because this lake is so clear. I think it makes a huge difference. So I'm using about a 3.5 to 4 foot lead and using the 3/4 ounce gold hammered shiver spoon. Here we go. Big pot of white bass there. Ooh, feisty. Pete, 3 to 1. I don't care what they are.
I'm fishing walleyes.
I'm fishing walleyes too. After I catch another white bass, it's enough for dinner for me on the white bass end. Look at the eyeballs on that thing. They're absolutely magnums. Loving that. I'll sell you one of these spoons. Cheap. 2 sandwiches.
Smallie?
Oh, a smallie. Another species. Right? Oh, there he goes. I'm going to consider that a catch for sure.
Just fanning through an area here. We have 2D and live scope going. Right there, you see that arch on the bottom. We're at 92.5. That fish is about a foot off the bottom. Here's another one right there. So we're just kind of scanning this area. We're going from 60 feet of water to 100, looking for a Cisco for one, and then when you find the Cisco, you're gonna find the lake trout underneath them. Now there's one by the bottom, and some in the distance too.
Yeah, it's a bunch of stuff right here.
Single hook, little dropper.
Yep.
Castmaster
We're
for
marking,
dropper.
just came over a crib and we're marking just a flood of panfish. Now it's there you go. Let's see what we got going here, Pete.
Oh, a rocking horse.
Okay, that's a bad. I don't like seeing that.
Another species.
All right, another species, but yeah, species. But that's usually when you catch rock bass, it means you're catching rock bass.
Yep, they're all together. Small bluegill, I'm catching up to you, Larry.
Uh-oh. Another one?
Feels like a bluegill.
Better one?
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds good. Ooh.
Pulled up on a crib here. We're in 14 feet of water and the crib comes up 7 feet, if not more, off the bottom. And it's stacked with fish on all sides of it.
I got one now too. Oh, no, not rock bass. I've typically, when you're catching rock bass, you're fishing too deep. That's always been my philosophy. So I got to bring it up a little bit here. There we go. Okay, right species. A little bit small. This body of water has definitely got some giant gills in it too. You know, a lot of them, 8 to close to pushing 10. And definitely a few over that. You know, our big goal for today is just to see how many species we can catch out here on Big Green. We just took a couple minutes. We came up on that crib. There was a ton of fish sitting there. Not a lot of big ones. We got a couple really good spots. We know we can catch gills. And it's not really a timing thing on the gills. Like the walleyes, I typically like to try to get on them right away, and the lake trout for sure. Even though you can catch both of them pretty much any time of day, it just seems like they're a little bit more active early in the morning. So we're gonna keep moving on here and try to get on that walleye and trout. So knock them out, and then we're gonna concentrate a little bit more on trying to maybe get a couple meals of bluegills and maybe a couple crappies mixed in there, and hopefully a bunch of bass. So you guys hang on to your hindies. It's all about having fun and enjoying the resources that we're so blessed with to have.
So a lot of times 2D can be better. Typical live scope 34, 32 deucer doesn't really see very good past 100 feet, I don't think. So you can go into this 2D and you can zoom in on an area that you want to look at. So now right here we're zoomed in from 60 to 130, and there's a fish there. So you're just looking at a portion of the water column. Makes it a little more defined, and you can see your bait too. You can see every jig you make and every fish below you. Very clear. Lake trout.
Yep, there we go. Get the net, Petey. Yes, indeed, another species. Oh, nice laker.
There you go.
Yes, another species for me. Pete, I am kicking your butt today.
Home field advantage.
No, home field mice. And he's like, oh. There
you go.
That's another species. This is the one I was most worried about trying to get on right away because they do get very delicate, I'll tell you. Look at that. Annie's like, I love that lake trout. Basically what we're doing is we're just kind of watching on the sonar, and when we mark a couple, we stop and basically vertical jig them again. It's the gold hammered spoon. Pete, I got about 6 more of them, and I would sell you one right now for a really good price. Big Green is one of the deepest lakes there is in this part of the country. This is a very unique body of water. It's a great fishery, and I think a lot of at times this is overlooked as far as, you know, people are always intimidated by deep water like this, but with sonar nowadays being so accurate, you know, you can really break down these bodies of water fast.
We just pulled up on some structure here. We're in about 30 feet, but when we pull up on the structure, you see the structure comes way up to, it's about 8 feet tall. There's lots of cribs in this lake, and we're gonna drop some tight lines and see what's hanging out here today.
We're gonna take a little bit of a break. I think we're up to 8 different species now. We're gonna catch a bunch of gills here for a fish fry, and that's a big thing too, is, you know, everybody's kind of got their favorite lakes. And one of my favorite places to eat fish, of course, is Winnebago, but Big Green here, these fish absolutely are delicious. So let's see if we have that option. We just pulled up on, like Pete was saying, up on a good piece of structure. Looks like a ton of fish sitting on it. Let's see what we can do. Set up here on this piece of structure. See what we got? Not too bad of a gill right there. You know, there's something too when it comes to fishing gills, and not quite sure what is going on here, but the last couple of years, the gill fishing all across the whole state here in Wisconsin, I'm not sure about other states, but has been absolutely phenomenal. A couple of weeks ago, we were up with Justin Sofa fishing up on Gogibic, and amazing how many big gills, like almost pushing up to that 10 inches or right at that 10-inch mark. I got a little gold Aberdeen true turn hook on here, and I'm just using a little piece of crawler there. Usually I like to use them tail ends because I also like to use the head ends for walleyes. But this is what I like to use, especially the way I'm fishing here and we're fishing in the structure. A lot of times I always feel if you're using a weight that slides easily, one thing I can adjust it to how close I want it to be. The other part is that when I do get snagged, at least this will pull down. Works out pretty good right here.
Doesn't seem like a bluegill. Maybe. Oh yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one, Pete.
Pretty good one.
Real good one.
Well, we're back fishing some structure here. This is a Meg's bluegill.
Hey everybody, this week's tip of the week brought to you by our good friends at Mike's Country Meats, the finest jerky on the planet. Hey, you know when you bring your dog out in the boat, one of the best ways, obviously, is you always want to make sure they have plenty of water. What I learned a long time ago is just to put a little bit of a cut in a water bottle and put a little pressure on it, and it works out absolutely perfect as far as being able to give them that water. Either that or carry a dish, but I forgot the dish today. bluegills you have enough. He's got another one. He's on a mission.
Oh, okay. I was not going to let you catch more of the meat today.
Right. Well, now
you got the species.
I'm in my seat now, so now I'm good. There's one. Woo, this feels like a good fish. So not as nice as I thought he was, but it's a number. That's all I care. I think a lot of times trying to get right to that right part of the water column. Sometimes the smaller fish will hang up higher, sometimes they'll hang down lower.
Right. If I start to know what depth they're at, I'll use that line clip and, clip it 15 down or whatever.
Right, that's a great idea. I love that. You got there, Petey.
Oh, another nice
that's
bluegill.
A little better. I'd take that one any day of the week.
It's almost like the days when you had a Harley and you were waving to the guy on a bike. You see another warrior on the water, you just get a good feel.
First class, all the way from the people that ride them to the people that make them.
They do such a nice job with communication. They'll pick up the phone anytime. It's really almost a friendship.
You could be in any state, and when somebody with a warrior drives by you, you get that honk, that beep. You're truly part of a family, and there's nothing like it.
Introducing Forever Barnwood. Transform your space with the warmth and character of a genuine barnwood look. Forever Barnwood offers over 200 authentic barnwood products. We are commercial and food safe. Our products are available in unlimited quantities while still providing the consistency you need to complete large projects. All of this while still looking like it came out of a 100-year-old barn. Forever Barnwood. Bring the history inside.
Hey, you know a big thing is you come out to a body of water like this, and it is an absolutely huge body of water and very deep. I think it's like 240 feet here. But when you start looking for bluegills, most of the time they're going to be right on the edge of them weeds. Or the other thing is there's so many different cribs here to start looking for. And most of them cribs go anywhere from about 15 feet out to about 30 feet of water. And most of that stuff you can just go online and look at Big Green and get all the coordinates for all the cribs too, so it makes it a lot easier. Today we've got a straight west wind, so basically what we do is the crib is behind the boat here, just at the back of the boat. Try to get as close to the crib as you can, but we're not fishing directly over that crib. We're just in front of it right there. And most of the time that is going to be the most productive spot, especially when it comes to catching big bluegills. There we go. It's one thing about when it comes to perch or bluegills, I am definitely a firm believer in scaling these fish. And I've got a tumble drum I put them in. I'm off, takes me about 20 minutes for bluegills. I can put usually, I typically don't keep more than 15 bluegills anyways, but I typically can put 15 good sized bluegills in that tumble drum, go do something else, come back in about 20 minutes and they're all tumbled, ready to go. Perch take a little bit longer, probably another 10 minutes on that. But the skin on a panfish is no doubt, especially perch and bluegills, to me that is definitely the best flavor there is versus just eating the meat itself there. So.
I like I'm using a full worm today on a small 64th ounce jig, but it's with these wave action, that bait is just moving around down there. And I think getting the bigger ones active to come up and grab it. Fishing about 2-3 feet off and good average size there.
It's kind of an interesting thing. We're kind of experimenting today between Pete and I. He's using worms, red worms, and I'm using just a piece of a crawler. And typically when I use a piece of a crawler when it comes to any type of pan fishing, it's always usually the tail section I like. I like that lighter color on it, and it's a lot softer too. But he's definitely catching, I wouldn't say more fish than I am. He might, but he's definitely catching bigger fish than I am. Is that when you put that red worm down there in the water and you look at how much movement is created by that worm, and he's using a whole worm, but there is times when it does play where that chunk of crawler can be more effective than a whole worm itself. And that's typically when you start getting cold fronts or anything that's gonna shut these fish down, pressure change or anything like that. Then a lot of times that piece of crawler will be more productive than a full worm.
They're all lake trout. There's two right at the top here.
We're catching them in about 60 feet. Now we're out in about 120. That's definitely the key this time of day on that hyper hammer. Yes, indeed. One thing to remember too on lake trout when you're fishing out here on Green Lake, they have to be 17 inches to keep.
I dropped it down, didn't hit the bottom. I saw it was starting to act. It was starting to already come up when he saw my bait coming. So I stopped 5 feet above it, popped it twice. It didn't hit it, so I lifted it up another 3 feet. Watched the fish come up on 2D, and then the line just slacked right out.
Oh, there we go. Oh, yes! Another species. That is probably one of the smallest Cisco's I've ever caught. That'd be a good bait for a muskie right there. They look like a big minnow.
I may have caught the most.
But I'm leading the categories.
You got the species.
I'm a multi-species kind of angler. That was a fun day. It's one of them kind of things sometimes where it's just kind of nice not to have clients, not to have a lot of pressure, but there still was a challenge to see how many species we actually caught. If you want to come out and just target either pike and bass or a couple of species and spend the time doing it, you can be pretty persistent at doing it. The only thing that's ever stumbled on me on this lake, and I know there's a couple guys that are really good at it, is the consistency on walleyes, because this thing is chock full of walleyes. It's just one of them kind of things where some days you really do well, and then other times you're just like, what happened to that?
We've seen it in the fall. We've seen how many walleyes you can catch in an afternoon, evening. It's pretty good.
It's crazy. Hey, if you guys want to have a good time and come out and do some multi-species fishing, give our good friend Pete Hupf a call. Let's tell him how, Pete.
You can call me at 608-609-2707 or send me a message on Facebook under Pete Hupf or Best Damn Guide Service.
Hey everybody, like we do each and every week, we always want to thank all of our men and women in the armed services for the great service they have given this country and continue to give this country. We want to also thank all of our firefighters and paramedics and no doubt all of our law enforcement agents. It is a great day to be alive. We'll see you guys and gals again next week, and thanks for joining us.